guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today as we go through how to use glitter heat transfer vinyl. Now, I am working with my Cricut on this project, but it can be used with any cutting machine, so this is one you definitely don't want to miss. Alright guys, so let's make a project real quick. Now I'm excited to show you this project using glitter heat transfer vinyl. It is by far one of my favorite materials to use. Number one, because I really love glitter. And number two, heat transfer vinyl is just a very versatile type of vinyl to use because not only can you put it on any type of fabric like shirts, tote bags, that sort of thing. What we're doing today is like a small little clutch bag. You can actually also use it on things like coffee mugs. You can use it on glass. So lots of really great uses. Now, as you see, we're in Cricut Design Space. This is a completely blank work area. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Upload, go to Upload Image, Browse. And this is a file that, of course, I grabbed from my Plus membership at Design Bundles. And I can just go in and I'm going to look for the SVG file here and click Open. Now what that's going to do, I'm just going to click Upload and it's going to bring it in to my, we'll call it my little library here, and then I can insert it into my workspace. Now, another important step of this is that we want to get accurate sizing. So I've already measured my bag, so I'm going to move this off to the side. But next thing I want to do is bring in a square. And I promise there's a reason for this. What we're going to do is unlock our aspect ratio, and I'm going to size this to 12 inches wide and 8 inches high. Because I took measurements of the small zipper clutch that we are working with, well, I guess it's medium size, but it is 12 inches wide and 8 inches high. So what I can do is create a rectangle to represent that, and then I can size my file appropriately. So super excited about that. What I want to do is arrange and send to back. That way when I bring my file in, it rests on top. And then what I want to do is come back. Now you've noticed I've clicked on my file. And let's try to size it to 11. So 11 is pretty close. It does get pretty close to the edges, so I'm not sure if that's how tall we want it to be. Let's try 7 inches tall. Okay. I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? I think that's a good size. And remember, you know, it looks kind of smallish on the screen, but that is 10 inches wide and 7 inches high. So that's a pretty tall order for an HTV design. Now, the next thing we need to do, if you notice I have different, we'll call them files over here, different pieces. That's what I'm looking for. I want to attach those together. And that's going to keep my design positioned exactly where it needs to be. And I'm going to click Make It. Now what this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and arrange it into mats. Now I'm only cutting one color, so one color mat is completely fine. If you notice over here on material size, it says 12 by 12. I'm going to leave it at 12 by 12. And then I do want to turn on the mirror function. Anytime you're using heat transfer vinyl, you want to mirror your design. Okay, very important to remember. Now we're going to click Continue and head on over. Now this is the point where it actually communicates with your machine. In this case, I'm cutting it with my Cricut Maker. So it's going to go through the process of connecting with the machine. So make sure it's plugged in, make sure it's turned on. You can take this opportunity to go ahead and apply your HTV to your mat, but don't worry, we're going to take care of that together in just a minute. As far as setting the base material, we do want to find the glitter iron-on material. Now I call it glitter heat transfer vinyl. Cricut does refer to HTV as iron-on. So if I type in glitter, let's see, there we go, glitter iron-on. I'm going to click Done. And it does remind me here, make sure that you have turned on the mirror and that the iron-on material is face down. Again, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to leave my pressure at default. It's going to tell me I need a fine point blade, which is fine because that's what I have loaded. And now it's waiting for me to load the mat. And when I load the mat, it's going to tell me down here that my Cricut button will start flashing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over with you guys. We're going to load this on the mat, and then we will proceed to talk about some tips and tricks and then do the cutting and the pressing. All right, guys, so here we are with my Cricut Maker. I have the little tote bag that we're pressing. and my heat transfer vinyl. And the first thing I wanted to show you is this is just a neat little measuring tape. If you don't have one of these, you can buy them on Amazon, and I believe you can pick them up in the craft store. But what I'm going to show you is that I keep them around so I can measure my project. So this is how I was able to determine the size of the rectangle, 12 by 8, okay? Super simple, super easy, but a neat trick to share with you guys just in case you didn't already think of that yourself. So let's move this off to the side, and what we need is our cutting mat. And this is our glitter heat transfer vinyl. Can you see how pretty it is? Very, very pretty. So let's go ahead and open it up. Now, glitter heat transfer vinyl obviously has a shiny side and a dull side. Now the dull side is the underneath, it's the back, and this is where the adhesive is that is going to fuse to your fabric. Surprisingly, this is the side that we want facing up. So mirror shiny side down, okay? Mirror your cut, shiny side down. Best things that you can remember. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead and line it up with my cutting mat. This is just a standard grip mat. I'm not gonna fib, it's a little bit worn, but that's okay. It should still work for what we need. So just go ahead and press. Now you'll notice that my heat transfer vinyl, because this is a full sheet, is a little longer than my mat. That is okay. If it bothers you, you can trim it off, but it doesn't bother me. So what I'm gonna do, remember when we said the software was waiting for me to load my mat? So I've lined it up here under my rollers and my little guides. I'm gonna hit load. Okay, and then this button is going to start flashing so that we can go ahead and click it. Now, as soon as I click it, it's going to send the cut file that we just set up into the machine to cut. So just make sure everything looks good, and as long as it does, press start. All right, so after your design is finished cutting, you can go ahead and unload. And if you want, you can remove it from the mat. And if you're done cutting, you can go ahead and put away your machine. I'm going to take care of that because we are going to use this workspace to proceed with our project. I brought our bag back. I also have a small little Cricut Easy Press 2. My pressing mat, of course. Let's go ahead and turn this on so we can be preheating it. And now it is time to go ahead and trim off the excess heat transfer vinyl. So can you see our cut lines? All right, not always the easiest, but not super hard. Just sometimes you have to give the HTV a little bend, and you can see where the cut lines are. So just be careful, but then take a pair of scissors, and you can just trim off the extra. Now be careful that you don't trim into your design. And then you can save this part for another project. Now, depending on the size of the scrap, you can even save this side piece. And I like to have like a little scrap pile. It's really, really useful for what I'm going to call a scrap buster project, such as earrings or keychains or things that you just need a little small piece for. Now, what I really love about glitter heat transfer vinyl is how easy it is to weed. You can literally just start in the corner, peel it back, and of course, as long as you got a good cut, it should come away quite cleanly. So you're just going to work your way around. I like to peel off the outside first and then start with the inside pieces. Now, a few things about working with heat transfer vinyl, if you haven't before, is you notice that it comes on a sticky carrier sheet. That's really helpful so that when you place it on, your project, then it's not going to move around as you're pressing it. Or like if it's a shirt and you have to carry it over to a heat press, you don't have to worry about it moving. But you'll notice a particular glitter heat transfer vinyl has glitter that's trapped on the carrier sheet, okay? Now, I just want to tell you that that glitter does not come off during pressing, okay? So, although it's really pretty to look at, only the heat transfer vinyl is actually what's going to adhere. Now, I like to go through with actually just my fingers with glitter heat transfer vinyl, and I can just peel off all the pieces that I need to. But don't be afraid to use your favorite weeding tool. I like these pink weeding tweezers, and you can just pry them out that way too. So whatever works for you. I'm going to keep doing this, but remember we said we were going to preheat our Easy Press. I didn't tell you it's going to be at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. Now this is from recommendation of the manufacturer, and if you're unsure of what temperature to press your material at, then always check with the manufacturer and see what the settings are, okay? But I'm gonna finish weeding this and then I'll show you how to press it. All right, guys, so after you're finished weeding, this is what you have left. Now, I just want to say too, if you're ever in doubt on what part to weed on the design, then go ahead and pull up the design in Cricut Design Space and take a look again. And also, sometimes if you hold your design as you're looking at it and try to read it, that will help you identify if you've missed any insides of the letters and things like that. So now what I'm going to do, let's pull this little beauty over here and go ahead and position it. Now, I like to eyeball my projects, but that doesn't work for everybody, so don't be afraid to get your tape measure back out. And you can go ahead and measure and make sure that it's roughly the same all the way around. All right, so I'm very happy with that. And you need a Teflon sheet. Now, your Teflon sheet acts as a barrier between your heat press and your garment or whatever project you're pressing it on. It protects both your press and your project, okay? So definitely good to have. And because I'm using a smaller easy press, I will have to press this 2 times, but that's okay because I wanted you guys to see that even with a smaller press like this, you can do some really cute projects. Even something like a shirt, all I would do is press it a few times over. So what I'm gonna do is just lift it up, bring it to this side, and start again. So one of the catches with heat transfer vinyl is that you need to make sure that you have enough pressure. And that's why a lot of people don't recommend the Cricut Easy Presses, is because the pressure is left up to you, whereas a standard heat press, as long as you have it cranked down correctly, would take care of that for you. But I think it's still a very versatile tool and I really like it a lot. So let's see. Now, some glitter HTV is going to be a cold peel and other glitter HTV is a hot peel. So where I'm going with that is that if you go to peel off the carrier sheet and it does not turn loose of your HTV, then that probably means that you have a cold peel. So give it a few minutes, wait for it to cool off, and then try to peel again. We're finished, so we can move the Easy Press out of the way and we can clean up our little mess here, because I want you to see the finished project. Now what I have are just some little tassels to make this a little easier to grip up here. Now this had a red pom-pom because I bought these last Christmas, but with a few of these little tassels, it is super, super easy to make it your own. So what I'm gonna do, I just have some little pliers here. I'm gonna take my jump ring, I'm gonna loop it through, and then I can loop it through my zipper. And once you have it tightened down into place, you have a cute little zipper pull. Now, of course, if you want to make a little keychain and turn it into a bag tag or anything like that, and now you can just use that, pull it open, tuck whatever, well, I guess it was already open. You can open it up, tuck whatever inside, zip it closed, and call it a day. Now, these are really, really cute. Like I said, I picked this up last Christmas, but this is definitely a project that I could see doing all year round. And it makes really cute gifts, especially for back to school or just anybody who, I'm a odds and ends collector. So I always end up with these bags all over the place with, crafty tools in them or, different project ideas. Sometimes I'll just bag everything up to keep it in one place. So definitely there are tons of good reasons that you need a little bag like this in your life. But for now, glitter heat transfer vinyl is a very, very neat and easy material to work with. It's very easy to cut and weed from your machine. We went over some tips on setting up and sizing your file in Cricut Design Space. And I will say that I'm very happy with our finished project and hopefully you are too. So let's wrap it up. So guys, how did you feel about our glitter heat transfer vinyl project? Now, of course, I like it. Like I said, I really use these little bags for everything. And I think it was about $3 at a couple dollars worth of vinyl. And I have a really, really cute finished project. So Like I said, I personally love it. I just love using glitter heat transfer vinyl, to be honest with you. I find it easier to use than smooth heat transfer vinyl, although that's not everybody's opinion. But, you know, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the project too. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. Now, if you learned something today, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I really love all the support that you show for us here, guys, and I really love to keep bringing you these videos in the future. So I am going to wrap it up for today, but thanks again, and we'll see you next time.